Phil Alexander Robertson, born on April 24, 1946, in Vivian, Louisiana, led a rugged and colorful life defined by faith, family, hunting, and controversy. Growing up in a family of modest means, Phil was the fifth of 7 children raised by Merritt and James Robertson. Their lifestyle was simple, bordering on primitive, lacking electricity and indoor plumbing. The Robertsons lived off the land, hunting game, growing produce, and raising livestock. Phil later described their way of life as being stuck in the 1850s, but insisted they were always content. An accomplished athlete in high school, Phil excelled in football, baseball, and track, earning him a football scholarship to Louisiana Tech University in the late 1960s. There, he played as the starting quarterback ahead of future NFL Hall of Famer Terry Bradshaw. Despite showing promise as a football player, Phil had little interest in pursuing a professional career, preferring instead to spend his time hunting. Bradshaw once remarked that Phil was more dedicated to the outdoors than the game, often showing up to practice straight from the woods with squirrel tails in his pockets. Phil eventually stepped away from football, declining offers that might have led to an NFL career, including interest from the Washington Redskins. He famously said, "Terry went for the Bucks, and I chased after the Ducks." After college, Phil earned a bachelor's degree in physical education and a master's in education. He spent some years teaching before becoming a commercial fisherman and eventually running a bar. During this period, his personal life was in turmoil. His marriage to high school sweetheart Marcia, Miss Kay Caraway, whom he wed in 1966, was deeply strained due to his lifestyle, which he later described as heavily influenced by sex, drugs, and rock and roll. The couple's relationship was tested, but a spiritual awakening brought Phil back from the brink, helping him overcome his destructive habits and recommit to his family and faith. Phil's passion for duck hunting led him to develop a more realistic duck call. Frustrated by the poor quality of calls on the market, he created his own, eventually patenting the design in 1972. A year later, he founded the Duck Commander Company. The company, later led by his son Willie, grew into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. The Robertsons' down-home lifestyle and duck hunting business became the basis for the hit A&E reality series Duck Dynasty, which ran from 2012 to 2017 and made Phil and his family household names. He was also featured on Duck Commander, a hunting show that aired on the Outdoor Channel. Phil's outspoken religious beliefs often made headlines. In 2013, during an interview with GQ magazine, he described homosexuality as sinful, citing scripture to support his views. The comments stirred national controversy and led A&E to suspend him from Duck Dynasty. The backlash was swift and massive, with millions expressing support for Phil. The network reinstated him just 9 days later without any episodes being affected. In addition to Duck Dynasty, Phil appeared in other media, including Torchbearer, a film by Steve Bannon that explored themes of faith and morality. In 2017, he began hosting a digital series titled In the Woods with Phil on CRTV. His life and early struggles were portrayed in the 2023 biographical film The Blind, which highlighted the years leading up to his family's eventual fame. Phil often found himself in hot water over his blunt and controversial statements. At CPAC in 2015, he linked sexually transmitted diseases to cultural decline and told a provocative story about an atheist family being attacked, using it as a parable to emphasize the consequences of rejecting religious morality. These remarks, like many of his others, went viral and ignited public debate. Despite the controversies, Phil's personal life showed resilience. He and Miss Kay had 4 sons together, Alan, Jace, Willie, and Jep. Their marriage endured numerous hardships, but ultimately became a testament to the strength of faith and forgiveness. Phil became a devout Christian and elder at the White's Ferry Road Church of Christ in West Monroe, Louisiana. He frequently spoke about his opposition to abortion and was active in conservative political circles. His endorsements of political candidates, including Vance McAllister, Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, and Roy Moore, carried weight with his loyal fan base. In 2017, he took over the chairmanship of the Fight for the Court project after Ben Carson's departure. In 2020, a surprising chapter of Phil's life unfolded when it was revealed he had a daughter, Phyllis, from an affair in the 1970s. She had reached out after discovering through DNA testing that she was his biological child. Phil welcomed her into the family, and the story was widely shared as another example of redemption in his life. Phil's later years were marked by declining health. In 2024, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, which increasingly affected his public appearances and activity. On May 25, 2025, Phil Robertson passed away at the age of 79. The cause of death was not publicly disclosed, though it was known he had battled health challenges. His daughter-in-law announced that both a private service and a public celebration of life would be held to honor him. Phil left behind a legacy that was as complicated as it was compelling. A man of deep conviction, unfiltered words, enduring love for the outdoors, and an unshakable faith that carried him through life's most difficult seasons. He has an estimated net worth of about $10 million at the time of his death, which he amassed from his career, endorsements, and business ventures. And with that, thanks for watching. Share with friends, and please subscribe for more videos.